Diane Lane has long been a fixture in Hollywood, known for her captivating performances and a life filled with intrigue. Over the years, her romantic connections with co-stars have sparked endless speculation and rumors. Now, at 59, Lane is ready to set the record straight. In this video, we explore her reflections on these love affairs, uncovering the truth behind the headlines and what these relationships meant for her both personally and professionally. But before we get into these revelations, we need to first look at the events that shaped Diane Lane's extraordinary career. Early life. On a cold January morning in 1965, Diane Lane was born in the lively heart of New York City. Her mother, Colleen Price, a striking nightclub singer and Playboy centerfold, had a whirlwind romance with Burton Eugene Lane, a drama coach and part-time cab driver. But their love didn't last long. Just 2 weeks after Diane's birth, her parents parted ways. Colleen, craving a new beginning, took Diane to Mexico and filed for divorce. For the next 6 years, Diane's world was wrapped around her mother's vibrant but unpredictable life. But then, everything changed. Diane's father won custody, and together they began a nomadic life, drifting through New York's gritty streets, moving from one shabby hotel to the next. Diane, still just a young girl, often joined her father on his taxi routes, seeing the colorful yet tough side of the city's underbelly. At 15, Diane's hunger for freedom took over. Defying her father, she hopped on a plane to Los Angeles with her friend and fellow actor Christopher Atkins for a week of adventure. Reflecting on that reckless escape, Diane later said, "It was the kind of behavior that happens when you're given too much independence too soon." After returning to New York, Diane moved in with a friend's family, paying her way by renting a room. She enrolled in high school in 1981 after finishing her studies through correspondence courses. But life had another twist in store. Diane's mother, determined to bring her back, kidnapped her and took her to Georgia. Diane and her father fought hard in court, and after 6 long weeks, they were reunited. The experience left a scar, and for 3 years, Diane cut off all contact with her mother. Time, though, has a way of healing even the deepest wounds. Eventually, Diane and her mother found their way back to each other, rebuilding their relationship after years of estrangement. Career beginnings and breakthrough. Diane Lane's journey to stardom is one rooted in passion, family, and a strong drive to succeed. From a young age, she was captivated by performance, largely influenced by her grandmother, Eleanor Scott, a Pentecostal preacher known for her fiery sermons. Watching her grandmother move audiences with powerful speeches ignited a fire in Diane. At just 6 years old, she took her first steps on stage at New York's La Mama Experimental Theater Club. From that moment, her path seemed destined. By the time she was 12, Diane's talent had already earned her a role in Joseph Papp's production of The Cherry Orchard, where she performed alongside legends like Meryl Streep. Even though her acting career was starting to take off, Diane remained committed to her education. She enrolled in an accelerated program at Hunter College High School, though balancing school and acting often proved challenging. Everything shifted when, at 13, she had to make a life-altering decision: take a Broadway role or pursue a career in film. She boldly chose film, starring alongside Laurence Olivier in A Little Romance. This gamble paid off, as Olivier famously called her the new Grace Kelly. Suddenly, Hollywood was abuzz with her potential. By the time she appeared on the cover of Time magazine, it was clear she was being heralded as one of the industry's next big stars. The early 1980s were pivotal. Diane delivered a touching performance in Touched by Love as a troubled teen and showed versatility in Cattle Annie and Little Britches, holding her own alongside Amanda Plummer. She even dabbled in comedy with Six Pack, starring opposite Kenny Rogers. But it was her daring role in Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, that made a lasting impression. Playing a punk rock band leader, she cemented her reputation as a bold, risk-taking actress. However, it was her roles in The Outsiders and Rumblefish, both directed by Francis Ford Coppola, that solidified her place in Hollywood, surrounded by future stars like Tom Cruise and Rob Lowe. Despite her rising stardom, The failures of Streets of Fire and The Cotton Club caused her to take a step back from acting. Returning to Georgia to reconnect with her mother, Diane used this time for personal healing and reflection. As she later said, "We had to repair our relationship because I wanted my mother back." Her comeback began with roles in The Big Town and Lady Beware, but it was the 1989 miniseries Lonesome Dove that truly reignited her career, earning her an Emmy nomination. Though she narrowly missed out on the lead in Pretty Woman, Diane continued to receive acclaim, portraying Paulette Goddard in Chaplin and shining in films like My New Gun. By the late 1990s, Diane was back in full force. Her performance in A Walk on the Moon in 1999 was hailed as meltingly effective, capturing the struggles of a woman torn between love and duty. Sharing the screen with Viggo Mortensen and Liev Schreiber, Diane's portrayal won over audiences and earned her a nomination for Best Female Lead at the Independent Spirit Awards. Unfaithful and further acclaim. Diane Lane's career in the early 2000s reflected a journey marked by versatility and depth, a story of an actress continually pushing her boundaries and captivating audiences. In 2000, Diane began to truly showcase her range. In The Perfect Storm, she played the emotional anchor to Mark Wahlberg's seafaring character, while in My Dog Skip, she embraced a softer role, portraying a loving, talkative mother. Both roles were vastly different, yet Diane brought her signature warmth and authenticity to each. By the following year, she was on a roll. She played complex characters in The Glass House, a psychological thriller, and Hardball, a heartwarming baseball film. However, it was her role in 2002's Unfaithful that became a turning point. Playing a suburban housewife entangled in a passionate affair, Diane's raw and intense portrayal earned her widespread acclaim, including an Academy Award nomination. Critics, like Entertainment Weekly's Owen Gleiberman, hailed her performance as a revelation. Following Unfaithful, Diane continued to impress. In Under the Tuscan Sun, she embodied a woman rebuilding her life, earning another Golden Globe nomination. Over the next few years, she smoothly shifted between genres, taking roles in films like Must Love Dogs, Hollywoodland, and reuniting with Richard Gere for Nights in Rodanthe in 2008. Despite her success, Diane yearned for more challenging roles and even considered stepping away from acting. But after 2 years, she found fresh inspiration with Secretariat, portraying the determined Penny Chinnery. Then, in 2011, she earned critical praise for her role in HBO's Cinema Verite. Diane's journey wasn't just about acting. In 2012, she lent her voice to the PBS documentary Half the Sky, using her platform to advocate for women's rights globally. Later career and return to theater. After the success of her role in Cinema Verite, Diane Lane found herself embarking on a new adventure in the world of DC Comics. Joining Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, she took on the role of Martha Kent, Superman's warm-hearted mother. Snyder praised her for conveying the complexity of a mother faced with the extraordinary, stating that Diane could capture the wisdom and wonder of someone whose son had unimaginable powers. Her portrayal resonated deeply with audiences, solidifying Martha Kent as a beloved figure in the DC cinematic universe. Diane reprised her role in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice and Justice League, further embedding herself in the franchise's legacy. Riding high on the success of Man of Steel, Diane was set to tackle another daring project, playing Hillary Clinton in an NBC miniseries titled Hillary. However, the show faced controversy, leading to its cancellation before it could air. But Diane, ever resilient, moved forward. In 2015, she co-starred in the thriller Every Secret Thing, followed by a voice role in Pixar's animated hit Inside Out. She then appeared in Trumbo alongside Bryan Cranston and Helen Mirren, earning a Screen Actors Guild nomination for Best Ensemble Cast. In 2017, Diane Lane showcased her versatility by taking on a variety of roles. She reprised her iconic role as Martha Kent in Justice League and starred in Paris Can Wait and Mark Felt, the man who brought down the White House. Her talent also shone on television, with memorable performances in The Romanoffs and House of Cards on Netflix. In 2020, she captivated audiences alongside Kevin Costner in the pandemic hit Let Him Go, and 3 years later, she reunited with Meryl Streep in Extrapolations. By the following year, her remarkable performance in Feud, Capote vs. The Swans garnered her a Primetime Emmy nomination, while she continued to expand her horizons with voice work in Inside Out 2, further cementing her status as a resilient and multifaceted talent in the entertainment industry. Addressing rumors of love affair with co-stars Emelo Estes. Back in the 1980s, when movies were packed with big dreams and even bigger hairstyles, Diane Lane and Emelo Estes were two young stars on the rise. Their paths crossed on the set of St. Elmo's Fire, a movie about friendship, love, and growing up. But for Diane and Emelo, the connection was more than just acting. Sparks flew between them off-screen, and soon they were in a whirlwind romance. It seemed like a Hollywood love story in the making, but as with many Tinseltown romances, it didn't last. They eventually went their separate ways. Still, unlike many breakups, theirs ended on a good note, and they've stayed friends throughout the years. Despite the ups and downs, their bond has stood the test of time. Richard Gere. In 2002, Diane Lane and Richard Gere captivated audiences in the thriller Unfaithful, playing a couple whose marriage unravels under the weight of infidelity. Their on-screen chemistry was so striking that it stirred rumors of a romance beyond the camera. But this wasn't their first encounter. Almost 2 decades earlier, in 1984, they shared the screen in The Cotton Club, a film set in the jazz era. It was there they first began developing the connection that would resurface in Unfaithful. By the time they reunited for the thriller, that bond had deepened, though only in a professional sense. Lane and Gere had cultivated a relationship built on respect and mutual admiration, making their roles in Unfaithful seem even more natural. Lane as the restless wife drawn into a torrid affair, and Gere as the husband blindsided by betrayal conveyed raw, complex emotions that left audiences spellbound. They danced through their scenes, capturing the turbulence of love, loss, and guilt. Despite their intense on-screen dynamic, Lane has always been clear. Their relationship stayed firmly in the realm of friendship. It was their professional synergy, honed over years of collaboration, that allowed them to navigate these emotionally charged roles with such ease. In Unfaithful, the tension crackled on the screen, but off-screen it was always just a story of two friends working side by side, committed to their craft. Matthew McConaughey and Diane Lane, both well-known stars in Hollywood, joined forces for the 2019 thriller Serenity. On-screen, their chemistry was electric, but off-screen, there was an unexpected twist that brought even more warmth to their performances. During filming, McConaughey admitted that he'd had a childhood crush on Lane, a fun little secret that added an extra layer to their dynamic. It wasn't just about acting anymore. There was a personal connection, a nostalgic thread that tied them together. In the film, the two actors played former lovers who crossed paths again under mysterious circumstances. Their past history in the story, paired with McConaughey's real-life confession, made their scenes even more believable. You could feel the tension, the emotion, and the familiarity between them, like two people who once knew each other well, but were now trying to navigate complicated waters. Despite McConaughey's admission, Lane was quick to clarify that their relationship remained strictly professional. It was all about the work, about respect and admiration for each other's craft. Still, that playful revelation from McConaughey made their collaboration feel a bit more special, as if life had thrown a little surprise into the mix, making their connection even more relatable. Robert Duval. In 1989, Diane Lane and Robert Duval came together to star in the hit TV miniseries Lonesome Dove, based on a beloved novel. Lane took on the role of Lorena Wood, a strong and determined woman, while Duval played Augustus Gus McCrae, a charming former Texas Ranger. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and fans couldn't help but speculate about a romance off-screen. But Lane was quick to set the record straight, always insisting that the rumors were false. Their connection, she said, was built on mutual respect and professionalism. Their powerful performances brought Lonesome Dove to life, making it feel like more than just a story. It felt like a real adventure. Lane and Duval's portrayal of their characters made the world of the Old West come alive, drawing audiences in with a sense of authenticity. And while the rumors of romance swirled, what truly bonded them was their shared commitment to making the best film possible. Their partnership helped make Lonesome Dove the unforgettable classic that it is today. Christopher Atkins. In 1983, during the filming of The Outsiders, a young Diane Lane crossed paths with fellow actor Christopher Atkins. Though Atkins had a smaller role in the film, their time on set sparked a strong friendship that soon blossomed into a romantic relationship. Lane has since reflected on that time with a sense of warmth, speaking fondly of the young love they shared. In the movie, Lane portrayed Cherry Valance, a girl who strikes up an unexpected friendship with the film's lead, Ponyboy Curtis. Atkins may not have been one of the main characters, but behind the scenes, his connection with Lane became something meaningful. It was a reminder that for young actors, real-life relationships can sometimes take center stage, outshining even the roles they play. Though their romance didn't last, Lane still remembers it with affection, seeing it as a sweet chapter from her early acting career. It's a memory she holds close, a piece of her past that marked the beginning of her journey in Hollywood. Matt Dillon. Let's revisit The Outsiders, a film that introduced one of the most iconic pairings of the 80s, Diane Lane and Matt Dillon. On screen, Dillon played the brooding, rebellious Dallas Winston, while Lane portrayed Cherry Valance, a sharp, principled young woman. Their chemistry was palpable, adding an extra spark to an already gripping story of class conflict and troubled youth. But the connection between Lane and Dillon didn't stop when the cameras stopped rolling. Behind the scenes, their professional bond evolved into a brief romance. For Lane, just at the beginning of her career, the relationship came with its own set of challenges. The swirl of rumors and public attention was something she had to navigate at a young age, and it wasn't easy. Yet, she's been open about their relationship and how, despite the pressures, it ended amicably. Their off-screen connection added another layer to Lane's life during this pivotal moment, not just in her career, but in her journey through fame and young adulthood. This chapter between Lane and Dillon is a little-known but fascinating piece of The Outsider's legacy and of Lane's own story. Danny Cannon. Let's clear up another rumor from the past, this one from Diane Lane's time on the set of Judge Dredd, the 1995 sci-fi action film where she held her own as the fierce Judge Hershey, alongside Sylvester Stallone's iconic Judge Dredd. On screen, the sparks between Lane and Stallone were undeniable, their characters playing off each other with intensity and grit. But behind the scenes, the real story was a bit different. It wasn't Stallone who caught Lane's eye. It was the film's director, Danny Cannon. Lane and Cannon shared a brief relationship during the production, a connection that wasn't widely known but is now confirmed. Though their romance was short-lived, they remained on good terms and were spotted together at several public events. This small yet intriguing chapter in Lane's life adds another layer to her journey, highlighting the mix of personal and professional experiences that shaped her career in the mid-90s. It's a reminder that sometimes the off-screen stories can be just as captivating as what unfolds in front of the camera. Nicolas Cage. Diane Lane and Nicolas Cage's connection goes back to 1984 when they first crossed paths on the set of Rumble Fish. Cage, still early in his career, had the advantage of working under his uncle, the legendary Francis Ford Coppola, who directed the film. Lane, on the rise herself, forged a friendship with Cage during that time, one that would quietly strengthen over the years. Fast forward to the year 2000, when Lane and Cage reunited on the set of The Family Man. This time, their connection went beyond friendship. evolving into a brief romance. Despite their off-screen relationship, both Lane and Cage remained professional and continued to work seamlessly together. Lane has since acknowledged the relationship, emphasizing that it never impacted their dynamic on set or their long-standing friendship. This final piece ties together the many stories of Diane Lane's connections with her co-stars over the years. Now, at 59, Lane looks back on her journey with candor, never shying away from addressing the rumors that have followed her. Having been married twice and raising a daughter, her life has been as captivating off-screen as it has been on. Despite the whispers and speculation, Lane's career has remained the true constant, a shining testament to her talent and enduring appeal. Whether new rumors about her love life will surface in the future is anyone's guess, but one thing is certain. Diane Lane's grace, beauty, and brilliance will continue to captivate us, just as they always have. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, comment, and turn on post notifications to stay updated with our latest content.